Castlevania 3. Level 9-3. Welcome back to possibly the world's first semi-biographical Let's Play and really suck at a game series. In real lifetime, it's been about 1 week since I've recorded the last video. As you get to these on the blog, they'll be spaced out by a couple days. We've been the last couple weeks so busy getting things ready and getting rid of things that I haven't had much time to write blog posts or put together these videos. But we've been trying to keep the blog going from some backlog of posts that I had written and scheduled, which has been our savior. Since the last video, we have sold quite a few more pieces, including our large Ethan Allen wooden dining room table with some character, which means some condition issues, to a very nice family. They also bought the coffee table that our computer used to sit on. So I'm still playing on the Vanity on the computer, but not for long. In less than a week, this desktop will have a new home. This Vanity will have a new home. Just about everything in our place will have a new home in less than a week. I got trapped in a corner here by the bubbles and didn't make it in 9.3. That's okay, back to it. Just about everything will have a new home. In less than a week, we are renting a Penske truck and moving it across the state, dropping some things off at our parents' houses, and then we'll really be camping out at home, which will be nice. We also looked at some computer things earlier today. I looked at some cheap $300-ish laptops that run some basic things, and the sales attendant called them 1 or 2 year computers. We were a little curious about what exactly he meant by a 1 or 2 year computer. Did he mean a computer that will break in 1 or 2 years, or a computer that will just be really out of date in 1 or 2 years? I'm hoping that he just meant a computer that will be really out of date in 1 or 2 years, because I don't really mind so much out of date. I just on the VAIO get upset because it just runs so super slow, and it always has. It had Windows XP specs, but was forced to have Windows Vista installed upon it when we purchased it. Oh well, sour grapes, right? The VAIO is backed up and ready to be burned, destroyed, thrown away, whatever needs to happen with the VAIO. I will be working on backing up the desktop computer that I'm working on right now later on tonight, and once that happens, probably no game videos until we get a newer, nicer computer. Also today was Mayor's Cleanup Week. See the blog post about Cleanup Week earlier from the week that this post goes up. We got rid of a ton of stuff out there. This is the chance that you can set anything out on the curb and the sanitation crew will pick it up. The one thing that we were concerned about, they do not pick up electronics, which is fine and understandable, because electronics take a little bit of money to recycle. A lot of people try to get rid of their old TVs, and they won't pick those up, which is fine, of course. Our local Best Buy has been recycling our old TVs for free, so that works out nice. We just have to keep it to them. When we set some things out, though, we noticed that they said they're not taking construction materials. We are not sure exactly what qualifies as construction materials. There's a couple things we were fairly sure they were right about on construction materials. Here I'm deciding whether or not to take on that Axonite to pick up that candle to see if it's worth it. And now watching it, I am not sure if I remember what was in that candle. I think I paused it to think about it for a second. I get nailed. Is this gonna be worth it? Maybe I saved a state while I had it paused. What did I get? A 5 heart piece. Probably not worth taking a couple hits. Oh well. Is there food? Oh, there's food. That was a gamble that paid off. Didn't know that was in there. Anyway, one thing we were sure they weren't taking is we had a bunch of old drywall that was in the basement. But we were hoping that the right picker might be in the market for some drywall, and thank goodness somebody was. We also had a couple of old doors that he came to pick up. He was a very nice guy, and his sister, I got to meet him, got to talk to him quite a bit about what they were working on. He is flipping a mobile home that he bought for a steal that had some water damage, but he's working on that himself. He's going to use the drywall. Even though it was old, he was an expert on it. I think he's a contractor by trade. He looked at it and felt it. He told me, he said, I can tell this is old. It's a little bit brittle. It's cracking a little bit, but that should be fine once it gets up to the top. He knew how to carry it. We loaded it into his van. He took that and 3 doors. Yeah, I'm save stating here. Just to get through it. I didn't know when I chose this path that I was choosing the hard expert path to take, and I lost my cross there for a dagger, which is great. Thank you. With each of these level designs, though, I was loving level 9 in these designs. Once I get out of those caves and the cliffs with the blocks, the falling blocks were driving me crazy, as you saw. But this level design was like, I wanted to see what was coming next. I wanted to see what was going to happen next. And I had to take some time to analyze and look what's going on. We have Medusa heads and flipping blocks. I took a couple old bookshelves, some old metal shelves out to the curb tonight. They got snatched up. A bunch of old flower pots got snatched up. Lot of stuff got picked up, including almost all that drywall. He left the pieces of drywall that I had left over. I may have to just put those in the trash sometime, but that'll be no big deal. They are trivial compared to the 9 full sheets of drywall, and I hope it was a nice deal for him, because drywall is not cheap stuff. I know that. I've never really had to buy it. I put up all that drywall in the basement just from what they had left sitting in our house before we moved in. It's been pretty rainy here again this last weekend. It's been rainy. Whew. I'm getting tense just watching this. The birds and the fireballs and everything else. There we go. I should make these a little bit closer to playing time, so that I'm not just watching in awe, because I don't remember which of these playthroughs I make it through and which ones I meet my maker. I'm enjoying a glass of the Mega Man 3 Snake Man hard apple cider. I've got just a couple bottles of this left. Still have a bunch of bottles of beer and barley wine and everything else. I've loved naming my apple ciders after video game characters. I still have some Mega Man 3 Snake Man. I have some Mega Man 4 Toad Man. I think 1 bottle left of that. That's more like apple champagne. I've got a 1 big 2-liter bottle of Blinky's Best hard apple cider that was also carbonated sparkling, but not as high alcohol as the Toad Man, the apple champagne. Toad Man I think was 13 or 14% alcohol. Blinky's Best was 8%. It came out nice. Like, I was hoping to use it for a punch party or something to use to mix up some carbonated punch, but haven't used that one yet. And I donated the other one to a New Year's Eve party hosted by a friend, of which I was unable to attend. Felt guilty. I figured 2 liters of homemade booze would help ease the pain. Today I also got 2 major scores from my wonderful neighbor who was getting rid of some old beer signs that he had, and they were incredible. They are incredible. There is a Canadian whiskey stand light that there's a light bulb inside, and then a big label on the outside, and then inside of that there is a rotating pattern that the light shines through that makes crazy shapes on the outside, and this spins not by mechanical action from the electricity of the plug, but actually by the heat of the light bulb. As the light bulb heats up, it pushes air up through a little fan shape on this spinning part. So I have one that's the Canadian twister thing. It's like a tornado. I've got a beautiful, so that one's a stand light. I have a beautiful Pabst Blue Ribbon wall hanging light that also has a spinning inside. And then a beautiful Schlitz clock light with a working clock and a light bulb that needs to be replaced. And I'm hoping to be able to find one, or to have whoever is babysitting this collection be able to find one. Oh, I remember what's at the end of this level now. Oh boy, this gets ugly. We might not get there till the next video. We'll see. Also, I got another, besides the Schlitz clock, I got a Schlitz lamp that rotates by mechanical action, not by the heat of a bulb, but it rotates with a little motor that runs on the same electricity that runs the bulb. But then this is a hanging lamp. So we have a PBR wall hanging one. We have the Schlitz rotating one, a Schlitz clock, and then the whiskey, something Canadian, Imperial Canadian whiskey stand light. Those pictures are all on the same post about Mayor's Cleanup Week this week. So I'm hoping that they take a bunch of stuff for Mayor's Cleanup Week here. I threw out a bunch of old rotten wood. I don't know if that counts as construction materials or not. They didn't really list anything. I did also submit a request for them to pick something up, which apparently they do for free, which is kind of neat. As long as it's not tires or electronics, they will pick up something for free if you request it, sending in a special request. Anything that you didn't pick up on Mayor's Cleanup Week, I'll have some stuff there. We've got extra drywall pieces, which I hope don't get soaked and turn into I don't know, drywall jello. The person I met today, I asked him about some possible water damage that was on the drywall, and he said if it was really damaged, it would feel like a cookie that you dipped in milk. Which I thought was a really nice description of what water-damaged drywall felt like. Crumbly, mushy, all the time. So, that was kind of fun. Get to chat with him about that. He was quite handy though. Some of our doors had some water damage and he had planned to just sand them down and go for it. And I really applaud that. We took a walk tonight through the Mayor's Cleanup Week and I felt jealous because there was all these great things that if we weren't moving and trying to get rid of all this stuff, we would be snatching up. Another thing we did pick up besides the beer signs from my wonderful neighbors, from another great neighbor of ours, had out a suitcase. We happen to be in the market for large suitcases on our trip to Ireland. We're hoping to just be able to pay a couple of extra bag fees to take a few extra suitcases of things. So we brought the suitcase back, put it out in the sun to dry a little bit. It had some water inside of it, but everything looked and smelled okay inside of it. I may ask him if I run into him if everything's okay with the suitcase or if there's something we need to be concerned about. It looked like it was just kind of old and beat up, but the zippers all still function and held things together, and if it turned out that it wasn't so good, we could just throw it away once we got to Ireland. And just use it for the trip over there and throw it away, which we may do with some of our bags anyway, because we've got some cheap ones from Goodwill. So as I'm working my way through 904, I may not quite get to the end of 904 before this video ends. If we don't, we'll pick up with the fight that comes up in the upper part of 904 in the next video. And I'll continue talking about Mayor's Cleanup Week and getting ready for our big move as we get onto that. Let's see how far we can make it on this life. Not far, it appears.